Some tense moments in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania this morning where police evacuated a high school after reports of gunfire. A student fired shots in the air before taking his own life. There have, of course, been dozens of school shootings and many victims the past few years, but it's a shooting on a college campus more than 50 years ago that has a lot of people talking these days. It is the subject of a new documentary, The Killer Within. Here's CNN's Gary Tuchman.
For more than 3 decades, Bob Bechtel has taught at the University of Arizona in Tucson. He is a psychology professor, a well-respected scholar in this community.
Are you ashamed of what you did?
Oh, worse than that. Ashamed is too, I mean, it's loathsome. I mean, this is just terrible.
Professor Bechtel has kept a horrifying secret about his own college days. The year 1955, the place Pennsylvania's Swarthmore College. Bechtel claims he was bullied by classmates in his dorm.
I just decided to go home, get my guns, and wipe them out.
A documentary called The Killer Within, a film about Bechtel's secret, complete with the reenactment of his 1955 shooting spree, will soon be released.
I had a Mossberg .22 caliber, a lever action rifle, and I had a Smith & Wesson K22 Masterpiece revolver. And then I fired without aiming. And I heard this noise, and I knew it. See, it's funny, I knew I'd killed it, and I wished I hadn't, and I just thought, okay, that's it.
Bechtel had killed 21-year-old Holmes Strozier as he slept. He continued firing additional shots into a door in the hallway. He then decided he was
just going to turn myself in, get electrocuted, and be done with it.
But that didn't happen.
The Sanity Commission ruled that you were incurably insane.
That's right, incurably insane.
His sentence? Life at a state-run sanitarium. The family of Holmes Strozier was relieved Bechtel would never again be on the street. But 5 years later, his brother, John Strozier, recalls visiting home and being handed a newspaper clipping by his father.
He just gave it to me to read. I read it. And he just said, "Don't ever tell your mother."
The 1960 clipping said Bob Bechtel had been freed, that he was cured, his legal obligations complete. Bechtel decided to hide his past, except to the woman he met and married. But that all recently changed when he decided to tell his daughter, Kara, who was featured in the documentary.
So I worry about him in the sense that his character will be maimed forever, and that his dying legacy will not be that he was a loving, amazing father. It will be that he was a killer.
Kara Bechtel convinced a filmmaker that her father's story could help people understand bullying and school shootings. The film shows the professor breaking the stunning news to students and to family members.
I love every one of you, every single one of you. What I'm going to say to you is going to be very troubling. I killed another student.
Bob Bechtel is now quite public about his past.
The bullies always pick on someone who can't fight back, and once people saw that I was paralyzed, this was an attraction.
Bechtel has diagnosed himself as a victim of post-traumatic stress disorder. He says he regrets killing Holmes Strozier, but he doesn't come across as a particularly sympathetic man.
You're not very emotional about what happened back then.
Well, I've had 50 years to adjust to it.
But this man cannot get used to it.
The victim is my brother. He's the one he killed.
That's Holmes, and that's me.
John Strozier says his brother, who would have been 70 years old now, was a wonderful person, the star of the family.
He probably, more than anything else, was a leader.
Strozier never knew what happened after Bechtel's release. He tried not to think about it until another newspaper headline caught his eye.
I found out about it, and I saw that the headline to the paper, "I killed my tormentor." I mean, it was just unbelievable.
One thing Strozier is sure of:
my brother was not a bully. So he's taking this sort of example of murder and then using it as an excuse to explain why he did this. And I think that's just absolutely outrageous.
I asked Bob Bechtel if the man he shot was one of the people he claims bullied him.
I kind of think so, but I'm not really sure.
But you don't know.
See, I think they all...
Maybe he was a random victim of your...
I assume that they all were, okay? That they were all on that floor, they were all in on.
It was not bullied at Swarthmore. It was not harassed at Swarthmore.
In the movie, Bechtel's daughter shows she is still having a difficult time getting over the shock of the secret.
He had planned a mass murder, but he planned to kill everyone. He was going to kill everyone in the dorm. I'm thinking about this now, it's like, my God, he would have been like one of the greatest mass murderers in America's history, and that just seems so weird to me that that's not my father, you know?
As it is, he did kill a fellow student, and by doing that became one of the first well-documented school shooters. In addition to the movie, Bob Bechtel is writing a book he is titling Redemption.
When I was young, people used to get me to cry for amusement. So I'm not interested in crying anymore.
Gary Tuckman, CNN, Tucson, Arizona.
Fascinating story. In a moment, another story about secrets, the dark side of the diamond industry.